The Intercontinental Championship was washed. It was finished. It was gone. It was lost in obscurity. I didn't care about it. And you didn't care about it. And you can't lie and say you did, because you didn't. Yeah, I see through the lies, right? We really wasn't on it like that. Lyra was doing the best she can, but it really wasn't working until Becky Lynch came round. And now Becky Lynch is in this picture, is one of the highlights of Raw. And her heel turn now has elevated the IC title for the women. And it's made it something that's actually got me invested on what's going on with this title and this feud between her, Lyra, and now Bayley. Becky Lynch's heel turn was genius. Let me tell you why. Ever since they put on this Women's Intercontinental Championship and they had the tournament for it, and Lyra went out there and Lyra won and became the inaugural Women's Intercontinental Champion, everything looked on the up and up. Everything looked like they were going to kill it. The US Championship for the women, Chelsea Green, at that point she had been champion for around a month or so and she was doing very well. So we expected the same thing on Raw. But what did we get? Mediocrity. We got forgetfulness. We got the ball being dropped. And it was something that we didn't expect. I didn't expect. And especially for it to happen that quickly, it was a surprise. But then now, time went on. She'd have a match here. She'd have a match there. And it wasn't really working. I don't know if they just didn't have any plans for her, or if they had some plans and the plans just wasn't coming together. It wasn't fitting. It wasn't being executed how they envisioned it to be. And it was pretty much DOA the whole time until she was paired up with Bayley and started going after those tag team championships and a build up to WrestleMania. Now, that's a whole other video in itself of why these champions are going for other championship belts. It really don't make sense. If you're IC champ, you should not be going for the tag team titles, but that's another topic for another video. Like and subscribe if you want to see that. But her and Bayley teaming up, having that tag team gauntlet match on SmackDown, becoming the #1 contenders for Liv and Raquel at WrestleMania, started getting people noticed a little bit. For the wrong reasons, of course, because it's for the tag team championships, but it was getting her noticed. And now finally, WrestleMania happens. Becky Lynch is replacing Bayley and they win the tag team championships. Now, I don't need to go over all the details of what happened. If you're watching this video, if you've seen my channel, you're a WWE fan. We're like-minded people. So I know you're cool. Everything started to change when Becky turned heel. The crowd were even chanting one more time when she was whooping Lyra's ass. It got people invested, and that's the power of a horsewoman. That's the power of Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch now, how her character is and how her promos are and how her matches have been, has elevated that Intercontinental Championship to a point where it's one of the most viewed and anticipated moments on Raw. Lyra wasn't really working on Raw, on the main roster. She wasn't really working. She wasn't really getting anywhere. But the genius of pairing her with Becky Lynch and kind of running that story back from NXT when they had their feud there as well, wasn't really a blood feud, but it was still a back and forth that they had. Becky's manpower, Becky's star power, has now helped elevate Lyra to a point where she is being talked about with a Bayley. And that is the genius of it all. We're now seeing Lyra. The matches she's had have put Lyra on the map. People are getting involved. People are getting invested. People are starting to do the woo, da-da-da, woo, da-da-da, woo. That really got popped off in NXT. If you go back and you don't even need to go on NXT, just YouTube Lyra Valkyria NXT entrance and you'll see it pop up. People are starting to get invested and starting to actually like her as a character now. Becky Lynch has done that for Lyra. Becky Lynch will continue to do that for Lyra, and I truly believe the genius of it, the end game plans for this IC title is Lyra Valkyria finally overcoming the chase, overcoming the hustle, overcoming the the hurdles that get thrown in her way by Becky Lynch and even by Bayley in the next coming weeks and maybe months to regain her IC championship. And from that point on, she will be undeniable. The genius of Becky Lynch's heel turn has helped elevate Lyra, helped elevate the IC championship, made Bayley the talk of the town again with her story, and ultimately added to the legacy and creating a new legacy, not just for the women's division, but for this new Intercontinental Championship. So if you like this video, make sure to like and hit that subscribe button. If you didn't like the video, let me know down in the comments why you didn't like this video, and may God bless you and keep you.